And so game week 32 is just about in the books with only one game to go. And finally, after 32 long, hard game weeks, the FPL Nightmares team should break into that top 1 million. As it stands, we are just 1 point away. And I have got Bruno Fernandes captain, 150% EO at my rank, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin to go. Now, of course, something could go wrong. It so often does this season. It so often does in this game. And of course, everything could turn on its head. But I feel like at this stage, I am pretty confident I'm going to finally end the game week in the top 1 million from 9.8 million after game week 2 to the top 1 million. And to do it this week, in the week where so many have wildcarded, would be a little bit of an achievement in itself, I think. To do it this week, when everybody has been able to handpick the players that they want, and for some of these forgotten gems to come through, for some of these Mukiele from nowhere. Brukiele is back, although it says a lot that one of the highlights of my game week, my weekend's football has been a Sunderland player scoring the winner. We are getting some glare off that sun. And now I've got the camera crossed over, holding it from my right in my left hand. This is not ideal at all. And I'm getting my team up. Here we go now. We can get going with the proper analysis because, look, I'm going to talk about Newcastle in a little bit because it is a little bit relevant. But for now, let's talk about the team as it stands. Keller at 2 points, not great. Once again, another goalkeeping disaster. Every goalkeeper I sign is poor, and it's amplified by Verbruggen doing the business for the Wildcarders. Oh, man. You know, I went on above average, and I floated Jaden Anthony. Oh, maybe Jaden Anthony, maybe he could be the exception. Oh, there's a little cat here. Can you see the cat? I don't know. Hello. You're a good cat. We'll not bother you. Enough of black cats ruining my football. No, poor thing will never. And yeah, Verbruggen, I've lost my train of thought already. What a great opening 2 minutes. But yeah, like, Verbruggen does the business, and yeah, Jaden Anthony, that was it, above average. Floated the name Jaden Anthony, had the goal ruled out, of course. And if that had gone in, you know, whenever you go on one of these big channels and you get a chance with a big audience, you want to say something memorable. You want to say something that makes people think, oh, he knows what he's talking about. And like, you know, we all know I don't. We all know this is just a bit of nonsense, but to their audience, it could have made me look brilliant. And of course, it so nearly paid off. It did not come off in the end, but that is by the by. It was nice. It was nice to go on above average, you know. It was a bit of a rushed hour because of hard deadlines for Adam, but like, again, I'm talking about the opportunity of these big channels for Adam and Baker to work so hard to go out of their way to reschedule their weeks to give me a chance to spout my nonsense to their audience. It's very humbling, very, very flattering, and I'm very grateful. Hope to get a chance to do it again because I have a great analogy about FPL that I have been saving since we started trying to figure out how we could make it work to get me on above average. A great analogy. I could tell you it now, but I'm going to save it. You know, maybe Az will come in, oh, I want your analogy on the black box. And, you know, my analogy is there for the highest bidder. And by bidder, I just mean somebody prepared to give me a platform. But this analogy, it's not one just for us. We can come up with analogies for days, but this one is a good one. So I'm saving that. Didn't get the chance on above average to get it out. So hopefully you'll get another chance. But it was great hour. Great fun talking to Adam and Baker. Obviously, they have not had a good day today. You know, my joy of Mookie Haley scoring is just another nail in their coffin of their season. And I said a few weeks back, seen it all before, seen Newcastle go down twice in very similar circumstances. This is the Joe Kinnear season for Spurs. This is their Joe Kinnear, except, you know, they've got a lot of jokes in there. So, poor pun, Joe Kinnear, joke in here, joke in there. Oh, I might even have to edit that off, but no, we'll save it because these videos are the raw reaction. These videos deal only in the truth and in the sort of things that come out of my mind when I'm walking. I've got really sidetracked. Gabriel, 4 points. Everyone's got Gabriel, doesn't really mean anything. You know, I'm sure a few would have went against him on the wild card. And, you know, I think it would have been the right move. A little assist is here or there, really. He's got Man City next week. You're not going to get much off him. But I know a lot will have saved him through fear of what he might do. And this is what I was saying to the D unit. D unit went triple Arsenal defence. Triple Arsenal defence on a wild card. Yes, he's free hitting next week. That's his argument. Oh, you know, by the time I need them, they'll be great again. But it's like, if Arsenal are playing for something, it's because they're conceding goals. It's because they are losing points. It's because they are bottling the title. And if you don't want to triple up in defence of a team that are bottling a title because there's too much pressure on the shoulders, there's too much weight on the outcomes, and you just... It's not a triple-up situation, but he's gone for it. And fair play to him, you know. Fair play to him. He wildcarded too early. He made a mistake. And he's trying to find a way to still come out ahead, to still, you know, said butted a branch, to still engage his maverick instincts and be a bit different. And sometimes I think that's to his detriment. But it's worked out this week for him. But you'll have to go to his channel for that, because this is the FPL Nightmare channel. Virgil van Dijk. 9 points from Virgil. You can't complain. You just can't, you know. I was complaining in the week about having him, you know, a stupid signing, really. I'm going to position myself with this sun. Looks quite good if I get it right, but if I get it wrong... you know, I said I brought him in after the 3 weeks. He got the points, and then he's done now since. Finally did something. 9 points. Thank you very much, Mookie Haley. 14 points. Will it hold? I don't know. You know what this game's like. They've got until tomorrow night to, you know, downgrade his bonus points, downgrade it to an assist rather than a goal. I just don't know. They maybe have already done it. But as it stands, 14 massive points. And it would have been better if Nico O'Reilly hadn't scored, you know, because that would have been a difference. That would have been huge. As it is, it just meant I matched Nico O'Reilly with Mookie Haley, you know, give or take. And I mean, even that in itself is a win. You know, when you're not on the trip and so many people have wildcarded, just matching is worth the victory. Just matching a huge defender haul with an unheralded, forgotten player is a massive victory. My midfield, it's been out to right home about. Wilson did out 2 points. Semenyo did out 2 points. Gordon, of course, he did nothing because it's not a high-profile game. All you want Gordon for in this run-in is that Gameweek 34 against Arsenal. That is the only one he'll perform in, because this is what Anthony Gordon does. This is what Newcastle United do, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to get into that in a little bit, so all you FPL sickos can get my pain. Hello again, Kat. All you FPL sickos can get my frustrations, get my FPL thoughts before I move on to those black and white shite talks. I'm in surprisingly good mood, really. And then, of course, Bruno Fernandes, the captain, to come. Morgan Rogers, word of praise for Morgan Rogers. Hopefully, he gets given the DEFCONs think he's one off the DEFCONs. Hopefully he gets given it in the update, because if he does, that's that top million secured already. Would be very nice. Even if he doesn't, 2 assists in 2 weeks, he's starting to get back into form. He's got McGinn back, he's got T. Elements back. He could be a very nice differential in this running. You know what he's like. You know what Morgan Rogers can do when he gets on these little runs. This tree's all pink and pretty. I'm gonna have to get the pretty pink tree in. I don't know if you can see it really. There we go. Wait, look at that. That's lovely, isn't it? Certainly looks a lot nicer than my rank this season. Up front, Ekatike didn't play, not a problem. Don't mind if a player misses out when I've got subs. You know, I've got Calvert-Lewin to come in for Ekatike, not the end of the world. Don't know if he'll do anything, but it's nice to have 2 players in tomorrow night's game rather than just the one that everybody has. And, you know, it was a bit of a worry not playing him because obviously the Wildcarders, a lot of them have got Calvert-Lewin. So it's nice not to have that little bit of worry on the bench, you know, because you can't help but compare yourself to others when you play this game. And a lot of people celebrating a player I got in a few weeks back and I'd benched him. That would have been frustrating. So now, at least in this game of community, I can celebrate with the people that also have him. And it's always a nice position, you know. He's still a bit of a differential. He's not that highly owned, really. What is he? 27% in the top 10K, 9% around me. So he's actually quite huge. This could be huge if he can get anything tomorrow night. And a lot of that will be because people have him, but on the bench, what the hell's that behind me? Oh, it's the light. Just looked a bit weird. Never mind. Feels like a bit of a meta video, this, me talking about everything that's going on. So yeah, and of course, Thiago, whatever you want to call him. What a player he has been, what a signing he has been. And, you know, a lot of people sold him. My man FPL Focal didn't. Fair play to Focal. I kept him, obviously I had to. And I'm pleased I did. Now, Kanji on the lock-in saying, oh, why didn't Nightmare bring in Bowen? Why didn't Nightmare listen to the rumours on Ekatike and bring in Jared Bowen? And look, I could have done. He was the only one I really considered because he's got a decent game in 34 and that's it, you know. But at the same time, he could have done a Nico O'Reilly. Jared Bowen, he could have come on, he got something, got injured. And that's 2 transfers. One to bring him in and one to sell him. Just not a sensible way to play the game. Like, for me, this is about a sensible running. It might not be the most exciting, but I think in itself, it is quite exciting. You know, everyone taking these wild punts, and here's me. My punt is to play good old-fashioned solid FPL and see where it gets me, you know? And so far, it's got me it's got me an extra almost 200,000 in the ranks. It's got me 1 point away from the top million with my captain and a striker to go, a penalty-taking striker to go. It's not so bad, this sensible play, you know? And the thing is, for me, the strategy is about the free hit. If I'm bringing in a player this week, it's like, if he blanks this week, this is my rule. If he blanks this week, do I still want him? And I don't know if I would have wanted Bowen because there's game week 33 before I'll even need him because I'm on free hit next week. And the free hit, you know, it's looking very interesting now, especially if Nico O'Reilly is out, because the free hit, the Wildcarders will have to replace O'Reilly if they want to follow through on the bench boost. That's one transfer. But not only is it a transfer, it means I have to go for a Nunes or a Gehi or an Aït-Nouri to keep that 3-Man City structure. And they will want to do that because Man City have got the running. But for the free hitters, we can eschew the defence. We can go with the triple Man City attack, and we can get Shirky, we can get Semenyo, we can get Haaland, a beautiful triple up in attack. I mean, we could get Nunes or Gehi or Nori ourselves, but this is one of these opportunities that only hits on the free hit when you only have to think about the 1 week. A game against Arsenal, who can unlock that defence? The Maverick Shirky. A game against Burnley, who can have some fun against that team? A man like Shirky, it's an interesting one. He is very much on my mind, Ryan Shirky. But we'll see, you know, it's still very early days. Game week 32 hasn't even finished. So as it stands, with Captain Bruno and Calvert-Lewin to go, I'm on 54 points, which is 6 points above the safety score. And like I say, 1 point away from the top million. It's a nice position to be in. And this is what I've been saying this week. I said it on Above Average. I said it on my video. You don't need everyone to go big to have a good week in this game. You do not need 11 players to get 10 points to have a great game week. You only need 4 or 5. You can get 5 players, get 10 points. One of them's your captain. That's 60 points with 6 players to go. You don't need 11 players to bang. Obviously, everyone wants 11 players to bang. This is what a lot of the wildcarders have been worried about. Oh, they don't have the best fixtures this week. And look, maybe the Man City one hasn't paid off, but you've got, say you went for Haaland and you went for Semenyo and you went for O'Reilly, you've got 19 points from 3 of them. It's not the end of the world. Throw in Palmer and Pedro, what's that, 23 points from 5. Still almost 5 points a player. It's not the end of the world. And if you could have got a Bowen, if you got a Mukiele, a Thiago, suddenly your score's creeping up. It's getting higher. And look, all our teams are very similar. There's a very narrow pool at the minute, whether you're on wildcard or not. So if a lot of these players are blanking, they're blanking for other people too. So it's not the end of the world. Free hit, that's when you really want to hit these big hauls. And it might not happen. It might not. But on this running, don't be thinking you need, and next season and beyond, don't be thinking you need 11 players who have great fixtures. Don't be thinking you need 11 players to go huge. You only need 4 or 5 to get double figures for a great game week. And that's what I've kept in mind, because it has been scary. As much as FPL can be scary, it has been scary going up against the wildcarders, going up against people who can cherry pick all the players for the last 7 game weeks, when I have very little flexibility, couldn't even make a transfer. And I'm holding my own. I'm hanging in there. You know, they are all. I am taking on 1 million Apollo Creeds, but the real life Rocky Balboa, he'll keep fighting, he'll keep getting up, and look, I might not win the world title, but I will go the distance. And that's all you can hope for in this life. You know, that's all you can do. You can't dictate the outcomes. You can't dictate how it pans out in the wider context of the rest of the world. You just can't. All you can do is focus on yourself. Get your bit right. And then hope for that little bit of luck that takes you the final few steps. And look, it hasn't worked this season. It's starting to... I took a chance with my early wildcard. It hasn't really paid off, but it hasn't gone wrong either. I would say it's probably a net neutral. And it might get worse. It might get worse over the next few weeks. I don't know, but I think the free hit can beat the wildcard next week. You'll have your bench boost. with your players that you've got to think about in the long term. I'll just pick 11 players who I think can get points, you know? And I don't know who I'm going to pick. Probably be Haaland. You know, you can't really risk going against Haaland, but can Shirky do the business? Can Doku? I just can't trust Doku, but Shirky, he could do. Do I really go with the Chelsea? Is that 3 games without a goal in the league for Chelsea? I don't know. For me, like, people I think, what triple Brighton do I need? I don't need a triple Brighton. You know, I need 11 players. Three Man City and 8 from the other 5 teams. And maybe that's just a double Brighton. Maybe I get a stray Burnley. Maybe I go for Jadon Anthony. Of course, with goals against Forest and Man City already this season, the 2 teams he plays in the double, he had that goal ruled out. Can he be a rogue pick? Oh, I mean, he can be. All I have to do is put him in my team. You know, he can be a rogue pick. Can he do the business? I don't know. Seems a bit... To be honest, if I'm thinking of someone like Jadon Anthony or like a Mitoma or a Gomez or a Hinchelwood or a Pascal Gross, I'm also thinking, why not Elliot Anderson? And all roads in this game lead to Elliot Anderson, because I could take a punt on one of these midfielders that do very little and maybe they get an assist. You know, maybe they get two pointers and then they get an assist in the second game for 7 points. Yeah, Elliot Anderson could do that in one game because he starts with 4 appearance points because of his DEFCONs. You know, he's smashed it again today. Was it 10 DEFCONs at half time? It's just that guy. Elliot Anderson is Big Daddy DEFCON. And maybe that game against Burnley, although Burnley aren't the best team to DEFCON against. So I don't know. I will have a look. I will have a think. People coming down the path, so I'm turning around. I want to go and see that cat again, but there's a dog there now, so it's probably run off. Big Daddy DEFCON Elliot Anderson is probably not the week for him, but, you know, why not? If you can get a 5 points as a starting base, if Forest clean against Burnley, that's 5 points as a starting base. Oh, it's not exciting. Not a lot of this football is exciting this season. And this is actually, I have been quite harsh on FPL recently. The light is dimming a little bit. Trying to get my little light on, but it doesn't seem to... Oh, there we go. Put my little light on my camera. And that should brighten my face up just enough. Maybe it makes no difference. My little monitor screen's gone a bit dim anyway because I've been rambling for so long. I don't actually think... I have been quite harsh on FPL in the last couple of videos, saying it's not fun. But I don't know if I feel that, because I was having fun this weekend. I was having fun with FPL. And then Eddie Howe's black and white shy talks did what Eddie Howe's black and white shy talks do, and they bottled it again. You know, I was at 24 points, 25 points, dropped from winning positions. It's just, I actually think, I don't know if it's FPL or football that I'm falling out of love with, but I was enjoying the FPL. I was enjoying, you know, even though the people getting points I wasn't getting, points I couldn't get to, I had my own players getting points and I'd played it sensibly. I'd played good FPL. And I was enjoying it. I was enjoying seeing the ebbs and flows. I was enjoying, you know, getting the Thiago, not getting the Bowen, because it's exciting, you know. And then Newcastle come on the scene, and honest to God, it's the time is up for Eddie Howe, because either those players don't want to play for him, those players have lost faith in his ideas, or he has run out of ideas. And look, he is a legend for Newcastle. He will always be. He will have a statue within 10 years, and rightfully so. But sometimes there has to be a parting of the ways. And that's where Newcastle and Eddie Howe are at, because the trust has gone. You know, you look at the performance today. Crystal Palace played the B team, brought on a couple of players towards the end and just won the game easily. Newcastle, no intensity. You know, Jacob Murphy as captain is honestly scandalous. The bloke pulls out of every tackle he's ever faced with. For him to be the leader, when you've got someone like a Tonali or a Joe Linton on the pitch, it's just scandalous to me. But that's summed up Newcastle this season. Longer. You know, fair enough, we won the cup, but we were crap last season as well. We are not a good team to watch. We are not even a bad team for the opponents to play. You know, a few years back, we were the shithouses. And now we are just, it's like they've all gone soft from being criticised for that winning shithouse mentality. And it's not good enough. And I just don't think Eddie Howe can turn it around. You look at our bench today, £200 million, £220 million worth of players he brought in. £220 million worth of players he chose. And he's starting Will Osula up front ahead of £125 million of strikers. It's just not good enough. He won't adapt his system. He won't adapt his tactics. He said, it's dangerous to have a plan B. It's dangerous to have a different way of playing, even though you've got different players. It's really sad, because I don't want Eddie Howe to get sacked. But he needs to leave, because it's over for him at Newcastle. The fans, them derby performances. And then 3 weeks, all we've heard is, get Eddie Howe on the training ground, he'll sort it. Training time, the players will be rested. We go out and put out just as listless a performance, and it's just not good enough. And you can't trust him to fix it in the transfer market, because you look at the signings and they're just not good enough. Wisser the misser, didn't reported late back because he was partying. This is a bloke who's got his big chance and he's just pissed it up the wall. Not good enough. Voltemada, I feel sorry for that lad. You know, Jacob Ramsey, probably been our best midfielder recently, benched. You know, Livramento, great player, but his head's gone. Looks like Isaac at the end of last season. Anthony Gordon only produces in the good games. So if you want Gordon, free hit 34 is the one to get him on. Because that's the only time he'll perform for the rest of the season, when he's in that shop window. Apart from that, these players don't care anymore. I've been watching Castle on Disney, great detective show, you know, about this writer who works with the police solving crimes to information for his books, inspiration for his novels. And it was so good. And then it peaked, and then they kept on going, and then the actual ending was just felt like a waste of everyone's time. You know, if it ended a season earlier, it would have been fantastic. But I dragged it out for another year. It stopped making sense. The story just didn't click. The cast just didn't seem as motivated. It was all going through the numbers, and then the final episode was just rushed together, hodgepodge, and a waste of everyone's time. And that is a good analogy for Newcastle. I told you I've got analogies for you. It's a good analogy for Newcastle this season. And to bring it back, feel a bit bad that I was harsh on FPL, that I said FPL is losing the fun. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it's just the football has lost its fun for me, because it's not been fun to watch this season. The football, the Premier League, and when your own team is just so passionless, it's because the Premier League and FPL are so intertwined, it's easy to conflate the two in my mind. I don't know. FPL hasn't been as good this season as in other seasons. So again, maybe that's me wrong. Maybe closing in on that top 1 million is why it felt so good this weekend. But at the same time, it's not lost on me that the only thing I've celebrated in the football this weekend is a Sunderland defender scoring a goal and getting a clean sheet. And what does that say about me? I don't know. I'm going to go away now and get this video uploaded. Try and get a bit done on this other video. Do you know what? It's funny because I've got this other video I mentioned. Really looking forward to working on it. Really looking forward to getting it out. Really putting the effort in. But because there's no deadline, it's just like, oh, well, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it. I won't do it. I should have been doing it all day today. Done nought on it so far. The Man City match finishes. I grab my camera. I'm straight out pounding the beat, recording these videos for you. And it's like, maybe, I don't know. It's just a funny little thing I noticed. Something I'm really excited about. I'm like pulling back from for no real reason. Except there's no deadline. There's no urgency. There's no need to do it. I don't know what that says about me, but it's actually quite predictable. It's like when I was doing my degree, it was easy because I'd just leave it to the last week, and then the urgency created by the deadline really pushed it, really like forced the issue, and I was able to focus. But when there's no deadline, when there's no urgency, there's just no need for me to focus, and I find it hard. And that's got nothing to do with FPL. I'm not tying that back into FPL. It's just something I'd picked up on. Quite funny. But yeah, there we are. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time.